Hi everyone! Welcome to another episode of Her Data Talks. It has been a while, but we're back. My name is Dinushki, and I have two amazing ladies with me. One is my co-host Jennifer, and I'm going to let you, Jen, introduce our wonderful guest today.
Hi everyone, we're really excited to be back and today talking to Brittany Rosenau, and she is a Tableau Public Ambassador and this year's one of the top 3 Iron Viz finalists. And today we're talking all about her journey, her entry, why you should participate in future Iron Viz. And with that, yay, we're so excited.
Happy to be here.
Awesome. Yay! Thank you for taking the time to chat with us. Would you like to give us a little bit of an introduction to yourself? Sure.
Yeah.
Apart from what Jennifer just said.
Yeah, so I am a Tableau Public Ambassador this year, finalist for Iron Viz, which is exciting and terrifying. My day job is a senior analyst at JLL, and for fun, I like spending time in Tableau Public. I play percussion. I've got 2 aquariums, no dog yet, but maybe someday. And yeah.
Nice. Some fun facts thrown in there.
I love it. So before we jump into Iron Viz, give us a background on what's your experience with Tableau? How did you come to know Tableau, and what drew you to getting started?
At my last company, there was a great data champion program, and it was basically that anyone could learn or use Tableau through web edit. And so at the time, I was working with a lot of Salesforce data. Salesforce doing cross-object reporting is kind of a slog. And with Tableau, it was like really fast to make reports and see things and make them interactive and click around in ways that I couldn't before. So that was really exciting. And then they had some internal data challenges, and that's where I ran up into like, oh, web edit can't do everything. So I downloaded Tableau Public because I wanted to use like custom shapes and more colors and things like that. And after that, I was hooked. Got started with Makeover Monday, met a lot of great people through that. And yeah, I've been just kind of dabbling in various community projects ever since.
Nice. And how long ago was that? Sorry.
Oh, it was about 3.5 years ago now.
Okay, nice.
Yeah. And I was just gonna say the custom shapes hooked you in like the colors and like there's a long-standing joke that Danushki and Kevin used to tell me, like that was my jar of glitter, and that take away the jar of glitter because I thought Tableau was cool just to be able to visualize data, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I was such a heavy Excel user, and then wow, I can see it now. Let's make everything its own shape and everything its own color, and let's put all the glitter.
Yeah.
So it's kind of fun, right? Awesome.
Yeah, but it's super cool to know that you started off with web edit and you instantly fell in love even through web edit. So kudos.
I'm super impressed by that still.
Yeah.
Well, so if you've had the pain of like updating Salesforce reports, anything that goes faster is just like, whoa, what is this?
Yeah, let me play with that. That's fantastic.
So tell us a little bit about why you wanted to first enter the Iron Viz competition, and feel free to share your screen or anything like that too.
Yeah, so I'll go back to the first time I entered Iron Viz, and I actually started off with not Iron Viz, but Iron Quest from Sarah Bartlett.
Love to hear that.
So this was the topic that time was just like something that brought you joy. And one of the things for me was this one of my favorite podcasts, 99% Invisible. It's a podcast about design, but it's something I really love because I always learn something that I didn't expect to, and it's got something for everyone. And so I took a look at what kind of categories the podcast fell into, and wanted to try out waffle charts. This was a fun time too. And then when Iron Viz rolled around, it was the same topic as this Iron Quest that I had submitted and gotten feedback from. So it was a perfect like, oh, well, I can just use something I already have and build it out more. which turned into this, which also highlights one of my biggest regrets is that I designed this on a Mac. And so now that I'm on a Windows machine, this is rendering into Times New Roman, so the fonts don't work. It looks prettier on a Mac.
Okay, I was gonna say this. So what did you use a different font, but then it translated to this? Gotcha.
Yeah,
it gets me every time.
I know.
It drives me crazy.
But you can see I took what I had already and I added some more sections. I was able to find out that the part of this like jump in content was that's when Kurt Kohlstedt joined the podcast as the digital director. And so that was really neat to see like, oh, here's, this jump in web content, around this 2015 mark. And this was just a really fun like project. It's all built in Tableau, which was something I was very proud of. There's a lot of containers, so I learned a lot there. But overall, like the process was just really fun. Getting feedback from other people was a more pleasant experience than I thought it would be. And at the end, it was just really exciting to see, this gallery of hundreds of vids of stuff that people are excited about. So it was really fun to click through afterwards.
I have to say, I remember seeing this. What year was this? Did you say again?
This was 2021. Yes. Which feels right. Yeah.
The bottom stands out in my memory because at first when I looked at it, I thought it was just art. Like, oh, that's really beautiful kind of summary, like his unit histogram, whatever. But then as you hover and you click through the fact that it's highlighted, I'm like, oh my gosh, no, it's beautiful art, but also more detail. So yeah, love it. Love it. Love it.
Very clean and beautiful.
I think the little unit chart it still might be one of my favorite things I've ever published.
Yes, it's beautiful.
So then the next year that Iron Viz came around, I wanted to enter again because I had so much fun doing it the last time. But the schedule was a little earlier than I anticipated.
Right.
Part of it I was on vacation visiting a friend in Minnesota. Part of it was I was interviewing. So I didn't have as much time. But I thought, you know what, this year I'm just gonna make something, and if someone takes a look at my viz and it's like, I could do that, then mission accomplished. Good enough for me. I just want to submit. I'll kind of keep track a little more of like how I go about building it. And it's not my best viz, but I still had a great time. Me and my friend Sarah, we were watching this like 15-hour documentary, The Story of Film, which is about movies. And it kind of goes through movies all the way from like the 1800s to the 2000s.
And so you were there taking notes and writing these numbers down, right?
There's a lot of copy pasting from Wikipedia.
Okay.
But I would say the most fun part for this was participating in the feedback initiative. Because I was so stuck. I had like 20 different ideas rolling around. I wasn't sure where to go, and everyone was just super nice and reminded me that like simple is okay. And if you want your audience to take away something, then you have to tell them what you want them to take away. There are definitely like other things I could do better with this, but it's a matter of finding the data and timing and all that fun stuff.
And at the end of the day, to me, the most important is like to have fun and the end result to be something you're proud of. Win or lose, like I just want to do something beautiful that is meaningful to me, right? And you do that regardless of where you place or if you place not at all. And I'm glad that you took advantage of the feedback. I didn't enter this last year, but was part of the providing feedback. And it was just so much fun to kind of help people talk through their ideas, because a lot of the times you just kind of get stuck, not because you don't have any idea. It's where do I put my energy and effort, right? I have all of these ideas. Yeah. It's awesome.
And it's kind of a fun like roulette of who you're gonna get for your feedback group. So it was a little like intimidating at first when I saw the names pop up. I'm just like, oh my goodness. And then you get on the call and realize that like, oh, everyone's just people and they want you to succeed. So it was really great to just kind of help me take people off of a pedestal a little bit and realize that it's not that serious.
Right. Yeah. I love that about I love that about the Tableau community specifically. Like nobody, however amazingly wonderful their work is, nobody is like, sitting up there with the gods. They're like,
Yeah.
we will help you anytime you want, which I love.
So that brings me to this year's
the big one.
The big one. So this year the theme was games, and that threw me for a loop a little bit. Because I don't currently have any like sports that I'm passionate about, and sports have like great data sets out there. And then I thought, well, okay, so I'll pick a board game that I like, and I was getting pretty stuck there because the data sets I was finding, it was like, okay, like here's a bunch of like stats about points, but like I knew last year I didn't really have a good story, and that's something that I wanted to like do better this year, is actually like have a so what to it at the end. So in 2020, I was living with my family during lockdown, and we would play board games, and I was getting bored and needed something new. So I was trying to look up like, okay, well, like where do you even start? And then I noticed this Spiel des Jahres name like popping up on highly rated games. And so when I was thinking about Iron Viz, I was like, oh, right, that's why I was looking at those games to begin with, is that they had this award in common. So digging into it, I found out that it's basically like the Oscars for board games. And so I started with an overview of like how many games are submitted for this versus how many kind of make it to the short list and then win in these different categories. There's no cash prize, which I found very interesting. So you can just kind of see, yeah, it's recognition, it's bragging rights, and then because of that, your sales can take off, which is really cool because you've kind of been recognized as a quality game that's built well. It's easy enough to learn. It's going to have good like replay quality. It's going to be unique from what's already like out there on the market. So yeah, so here's kind of a breakdown of characteristics of those games. The blue is kids games, the red is like regular, and the dark gray is like, they call it like more complicated games that like they're not necessarily harder to play, but they might have a steeper learning curve. If anyone's played Wingspan, they'll know that it's kind of a steep learning curve because there's like 2 appendixes and lots of different moving parts. But once you get the hang of it, it's really fun. How
So
long
awesome.
a game takes to play. I was kind of surprised at like how many games offered like a solo mode, which is really interesting. And then games that allowed for more than 4 players. And I'm one of 5 kids, and so when a game says up to 4 players, that leaves someone out. So I thought it was interesting that like, oh, there's games that can accommodate a larger group of people. So then I dug into like narrowed it down the focus on here are 2 of the games that I bought and enjoyed and some characteristics about them. And then what might be my favorite part is the games picker down here, where it lets you as the end user pick like, okay, if I'm looking for a kids game and I'm really tired of playing games, so I want it to last for only 30 minutes. And I've got 3 people total. Okay, perfect. 24 of these games meet your criteria. So
I love this. And it makes me Danushki's gonna laugh, but like it makes me think of sushi. Because like every time we go out for sushi, I always say I need to build a viz with all the local sushi restaurants. That way I can have the picker. Like, okay, it needs to be this. It needs to be enough for 2 people. It needs to have this ingredient. I need a picker. Anyway, I have to ask the I just lost my words. The art. Did you draw this? Did I hear that?
Yes. Yeah. It's more accurate to say I traced.
Okay, nice.
But I found like product shots of the games, and then I used a whiteboarding tool called InVision and just drew over it with my mouse. And what it does is it kind of smooths the lines out for you. And so it worked for what I wanted to do because I didn't really have time to like learn how to draw.
But it's very stylized in a way that fits perfectly. It's not too overpowering. So like that's what draws my eye to it. It fits so well with the colors and the overall design. I love it.
It's beautiful. Seriously. Wow. I need to
Yeah.
get on this tool that you're talking about. But
it's super easy to learn, and it's I had used it before for making some graphics for like slide decks. Just because sometimes that like hand-drawn look grabs people in a way that like, a very square rectangle doesn't. So
yeah, and it makes it more relatable for some reason. Amazing.
Love.
Amazing. Okay, so this is the big viz that, got you to the Iron Viz stage, which you'll be taking in May, which is like almost here. How do you feel about this whole well, not experience, but like how do you feel now that you are about to be on stage in May?
How do you process? Like I can't
I can feel myself like breaking out into a sweat. No, participating in Iron Viz is super fun. Not just saying that because I've got a good result this year. I would do it again anyways. But I think being on stage is going to be a bit of a different beast. I think this Viz works well on paper, I'll say. Like it works if you're sitting at your computer and kind of like scroll through and interact. But I don't know that this would translate as well on the big screen. So that's kind of, something I'm thinking about as well. What do I want to do? And then also the time crunch is okay. This took a long time.
Right.
It'll be interesting to see, all those little formatting things in Tableau take time. And so what's going to be the most efficient way to like get through some of those clicks? But I know the team's going to be really, really supportive. And right now I can't wait to find out what the data is going to be. So it's just kind of like hurry up and wait right now.
That takes me to like while you're sitting like on deck, like this is coming at any minute, you're going to be all head down, right, and ready to go. And I know, speaking from JLL, like I'm sure you've got connections there with people to help you mentally prepare. But on your own, like how do you process and mentally prepare? Like to me, I don't know that I would go to Rocky, but my husband would be like, okay, we got to watch the whole Rocky series. We got to put the Eye of the Tiger on. Like, how do you get your head space where it needs to be?
It's so funny because I called my mom first, and I'm pretty sure when I called her, she thought that I was like something was wrong because there was just like a level of like panic, and I was still processing like what just.
It's all okay. This is a good thing.
I'm like, I'm fine. I just got an email. But I did do the nerd thing and went and rewatched like Iron Viz competitions from the past years.
Nice.
And it's interesting because you find some questions being asked, and it just blown away by what everyone manages to put together in such a short time frame. So it's been really nice that like people that have competed in past Iron Vizes have reached out, like offering support, and it definitely
really
feels like it definitely feels like everyone wants everyone to do well, which is like obviously it's going to be competitive. Obviously I want to win. But it does feel very good natured overall.
That's awesome about the community.
Yeah.
I still remember to this day, like sitting with Danushki, I knew of Tableau. She's the one that brought me to Tableau, and I've been dabbling with it, maybe published one or two things in public. And I remember them talking about going to conference and about like the smoke and the thing and the stage and the lights. And like, this sounds like not a work conference. Like, what are you talking about? And so the minute you said you called your mom, I can also relate to like trying to translate the things that happen in our Tableau niche world to like the greater outside of world. Like, how do you explain what this is? Like, I'm just gonna do this thing, okay?
It's
a
a big
big
game
deal. Just being
show, like-
excited.
Yeah.
I've leaned on it's kind of like Nerd Super Bowl in some way, and they're like,
Yes.
"Oh, okay."
For sure.
But it's only just me, not like a team of football players. That's awesome. So excited for you. Just,
Yeah, we're super excited for you. But before we let you go, we
yes.
have 5 rapid fire questions for you. So
Let's hear
whatever pops up in your mind, feel free to let it out. No judgment here. We'll start off with an easy one.
Before we get started, apologies for some of these random questions. We always feel like we have to put together curveballs, and there is no like purpose to any of them, but it's just fun to see what people answer on the spot to random questions.
Are you ready?
Let's go.
All right. First question. We heard you like fruit snacks. So if you were a fruit snack, which one would it be?
Oh,
Ooh, this is a thinker.
So, yeah. So I do think there's definitely a difference between like fruit snacks and like gummy bears, because those are 2 different categories.
2 entirely different
categories. So fruit snacks,
like
I would yeah, completely different. So I would say Welch's.
But which fruit snack in the
Flavor.
Welch's little pouch
which
would
fruit
you
snack?
be?
Oh, and then there's the different snack flavor packs. Like my kids like the red ones, not the blue one. You know what I mean? Like the pack.
I do like the blue wrapper ones, the island fruits.
Okay.
I think the fruit punch might be a top one for me.
Okay, we really narrowed that down. I'm kind of excited.
Yeah, I love it. Okay, next. Who is your all-time favorite Tableau visualizer?
Oh,
I'm fighting words.
I'm gonna disappoint some people. No, I'll say Neil Richards, because I've got a very distinct memory of first discovering Tableau and scrolling through the gallery on Tableau Public, and he had a viz that visualized the music of Holst to the planet.
Oh.
And that blew my mind, that you could do something like that with business software. And I just love all of his non-business friendly dashboards, and I think he's got a really fun look.
Totally. Oh my God.
I love that.
I remember that viz very distinctly too. And we all kind of have those, first viz people that is just stuck in your mind, and like however much you advance, it's still that person and that viz that you like kind of idolize too.
Yeah, I love that. I just want to like take a poll of everybody in the data community who's ever touched Tableau. What is that viz that you were like,
right? That
I gotta get. I need to do Tableau.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Okay. Question number 3: team tile or team float?
I am team tiled inside of one floating container.
Ooh. Okay, a little hybrid situation over here.
We like the hybrid. We'll take the hybrid for C for 100, please. Okay.
Yes.
Question 4. What is your favorite Tableau blog?
No pressure.
Oh,
No.
oh no. Ooh, there's too many. I'll say CJ right now, because
nice.
CJ's blog, his questions are so thoughtful, which is really like just nice to read, but also the topics are just kind of all over the place. One week it's using Python to do something crazy. Another time it's breaking down a viz, and he's just so nice.
Yeah.
That if anyone can be on CJ's blog, I think that's quite fun.
Yeah.
He also does a great job of like highlighting, others as well, which is really nice.
Right. And he is able to break down some really, really complicated stuff that he does into like easy English.
Yeah.
Okay.
Love it.
What is your favorite chart type? I can also rephrase it to Jennifer saying this. If you were a chart type, what would you be?
Come on, that's like those like curveball HR questions. If you were a tree, what kind of tree would you be? Like, okay, you're in Tableau, you're a chart. What chart are you and why?
I have a soft spot for jitter plots. I think they're fun and festive, but they also like they can get that like, okay, here's all your data points, but it's a little more visually interesting. I mean, everything can be a bar chart, but
yeah,
sometimes you need to spice it up a little
you
bit.
need to spice it up with the random, right?
Yeah,
like
for sure.
I love
And
it.
then I also love it when people are like, so what is this axis? And you're just like,
it's nothing.
It don't worry about it.
That's the best part. Duh.
Yeah. Okay, last bonus question. No pressure, hypothetical answers are always
we're holding you to
available
this
here.
one.
Like, what, Jennifer?
I said, no, we're going to hold you to your answer.
Exactly. But who do you think is going to win Iron Fist 2023?
Oh no! I think I'm having connectivity issues.
You really did freeze up there. You don't have to ask.
No, and I'm just like Makeover Monday. I always have a soft spot for because it's really fun seeing how many different things people make out of the same data set, and so I'm kind of looking forward to that with Iron Viz as well as everyone. Iron Viz, the feeder is neat seeing what everyone comes up with like on their own, but I think it's going to be a different challenge to be like, okay, here's the data you have to work with, and see what we can come up with from that.
100%. And I'm sure you've seen Iron Viz in person, right? From last year's conference.
From last year, yeah.
CJ, Kimberly, Will, all on stage. So exciting. You've participated in the feeder. So like mentally, what do you think is the most, you've mentioned people in the community reaching out to say they have your back, they want to be supportive. Like while you're up there on the stage, what do you think is the most helpful? Like, do you need me to carry a sign that says like what is it that you need from your audience that is going to say, yes, I'm here, my people are here to support me?
Or even before you get on stage, like what do you need from the community?
If everyone can just tell me which seat they're going to be sitting in, so I know where to look.
I will wear like,
girl, you are not going to be worried about anyone else in there. You're going to be so focused.
You know what's funny is that would be cute, right? To be like, oh, yay, Brittany. But I would almost fear doing something obnoxious that you would just throw somebody completely off. Like, oh yeah, that's great. And then like their headspace is completely ruined.
Don't worry.
Need like blinders on and like
blinders, yeah.
Yeah.
I will keep Jennifer tied to her seat. Like she will not be,
I'll just have my Sue visitor will just be standing in between me and like the audience view so I can just
It's crazy though, because so last year was my first conference to attend in person, first time ever.
Same.
And we spoke, me and Danushki together. I can't tell you how many times we rehearsed our lovely presentation and I rocked it, right? I rocked it when we practiced. And then we got on stage and I don't know, there was like a squirrel running across the room in the back and I just went,
you were fine. Stop it.
I think I'm more nervous about the talking about the viz after the end than the actual like building the viz itself.
Yeah. Oh, I hear that.
But
okay.
Just
call me up. I'll help you.
Yeah.
Just imagine that you're talking to one person and there's nobody else in the room and you're just trying to get your story across to this one person. You're trying to make them fall in love with you.
That was her advice to me, and it did not pan out. I can't imagine the adrenaline. It either kicks in, right? Like we all have that tipping point where the adrenaline becomes just what you need to like focus and get the job done. And then it starts to teeter off and nerves kick up and you're like, I think you're going to do amazing. I'm so excited. I may wear a bright t-shirt with your name printed on all sides and be sitting front row, just so you need to look for somebody. I'll be there.
I think I'm going to be looking forward to a lot of friendly faces in the audience.
I'm sure. That's amazing.
Well, congratulations and all the good luck. Sending all the positive vibes and everything your way for you to prep and all that. We can't wait to see you up there.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Awesome. Thank you for talking to us. This was a lot of fun.
This was great.
Bye. See you at DC.